everyone, welcome to another Make Do Kangaroo class. So this week is going to be all about the tiny seed. So this is the book that we're going to read when it's story time. And first of all, this is the picture that we're going to make of a beautiful flower growing up out of the ground with its roots going down into the soil, and a beautiful flower at the top with seeds in the middle. Okay, but before we do anything at all like that, we have to put the kangaroo song on, don't we? So let's stand up. I'm going to put the music on, and depending on what time you're watching this video, either if it's in the morning, maybe you need to wake up. If it's later on in the day, you're maybe getting a little bit tired and you want to get a wee bit more energy. So if that's the case, there you go. Oh, can you hear that? Right, stand up, let's go.
I'm a kangaroo and
well done. We're going to do some jumping.
I'm a kangaroo.
Super, good job. That's it, up and down. Let's wake ourselves up. We're going to do some boings. Here we go.
Boing, 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 boing.
Super, good job. Keep going. Are you running round your room? Are you jumping up and down? Are you hopping on one leg? What are you doing?
So come and bounce around with me. We'll
Here
have
we
a
go.
lot of fun. Come on, children. Now it's your turn.
Good job.
Up and down, all around
Ready?
the room.
Are we ready to go? Up and down, up and down.
Bouncy, bouncy around the room.
Well done.
That's it. That's
That's
lovely.
it. Look,
Now
just
you're
like a
like a
kangaroo.
kangaroo too.
Super job. Here we go.
Boing, 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 boing.
Well done. Keep going.
The kangaroo.
Nearly done.
Joey and
Last bit.
you'll never find me sitting.
Do you feel more awake?
relaxing on the
Yeah, has it
My
worked?
favourite year is
Good.
winter and my favourite season's
Ready?
spring. I love to jump around.
One last
That's
jump.
my favourite kind of thing.
Super job. Well done. Give yourselves a clap. Let's put kangaroo back. There we go. And let's sit back down. Well done, everyone. How are we feeling? A little bit more awake? Yeah, do we have got rid of some of that energy if you had too much energy, and now you're ready to sit down and do some painting? So if we go back to our flower picture, you'll see, can you see there's lots of splatters behind our lovely flower? You see that? Lots of dots of different coloured paint. And we've got brown paint at the bottom for the ground, for the mud, for the soil that the flower is going to grow up from. So that's the two things that we're going to start with first, okay? We're going to paint our soil, and we're going to paint this lovely patterned background, because if we get the book, it's quite similar to the background in the book. See all the different dots and splats. And to make that effect, what we're going to use is our toothbrush. So let's open this toothbrush. You should have one of these in your pack. And to do the soil, you should have a little sponge as well. So I have a plate, and on my plate, look, a brown for the earth. And then I've got orange and yellow and green paint. You can have whichever colours of paint you want to have for your background, okay? Do the background first. So for doing that, this can get a little bit messy. I'm going to get my toothbrush and I'm going to dip it in, I think, yellow first. Okay, let's see if I can get that toothbrush dipped in there. There we go. Now, you're going to get your finger, and we're going to see if we can move our finger up the toothbrush. And let's see what happens, okay? Put our finger on the toothbrush and we're going to move it up. What happened? Did anything happen to yours? Put your finger on the toothbrush and have the toothbrush pointing at your paper, and then push it down and move it up. Did you get any big splats on yours? Try it again. And again. Are you managing to do this? Can you see what I'm doing? Put your finger on the toothbrush, press down and flick. Pull it up like that. You're managing to do something. Well done. There you go. You can also do tap, 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 like that. Maybe you might find that works if you're finding doing your finger a little bit difficult. So now I've got some yellow splatters all over this page. I'm going to dip my paintbrush into the orange and do the same thing. Well, so if you want, you can go tap, 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 tap. Or you can get your paintbrush and do your finger and go flick, 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 like that. It's a little bit messy on your table, so I hope you've got something down to protect it. Okay. And then I've got some green paint. So once I'm happy with this, I'm going to get some green paint. Dip, 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 dip into the green. And then we're going to do the same. Ready? Flick. 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 Wow. This looks amazing. What does yours look like? What do you think? Look, I'll hold up mine. Like that. Do you see all those different colours on the paper? It's a really good effect, isn't it? So then, once you've done all of those little splatters and flickers of paint all over your paper, it's time to do the soil. So let's get our sponge, dip it into your brown paint. Now, when we think about the ground, where is the ground? Is it above our heads or is it below our feet? What do you think? Above our heads? No, that's the sky, isn't it, up there? So it's down there at the bottom, below our feet. So at the bottom of your paper, down here, that's where we want the mud to be. We don't need any mud at the top because that's kind of where the sky would be. So we just want to put all this mud and we want to go dab, 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 all the way just along the bottom where the ground would be, where it would be all muddy. Okay, like that. Fab, good work. What does yours look like? You happy with that? Let's see. Just like that. Brilliant, well done. So that's us finished all of our painting. So let's put our paint away to one side. Okay, and the next thing I think we could do is let's start to create our flower, okay, growing up out of the ground. So let's, first of all, you should find a green stem and green leaves, okay, of your flower. So like this, here's my stem, here's my leaves. And get some glue, so it doesn't matter, you can use a glue stick. I'm going to use a glue stick. You could use PVA if that's what you've got. If you've got some runny glue, then you can use that. And make sure you cover the whole stem in glue. And then we want the stem to be down into the soil, yep. Not right at the bottom, but we want it to be in the soil because that's where flowers grow, don't they? They're in the earth and they grow out of the earth up towards the sky and towards the sun. So we've got our stem down there, and now I'm going to put some glue onto one leaf and I'm going to glue that down. There Go that side. Just cover that bit. There. Go press, press, press. Press all that down. And then I'll get my other leaf. Get some glue right the way to the edges, right the way to the corners with the glue. And then, there we go. Press that one down. Fantastic. Are you managing that okay? Yep. So now I've got my stem and I've got my leaves. Now, what should we do? Let's do the roots, okay? So every plant needs roots in order to grow up. The roots need to grow down into the earth, and the roots help to soak up the water. Do you remember the week that we did Rainy Day and we read the Rainy Day book? Yep. And remember, the plants loved it when it rained, didn't it? Because when the rain trickled down into the soil, the roots would soak the water up and the plants would have a lovely drink. So all plants need to have roots that go down deep into the soil. Yep, and that helps them to grow. So you should have some string. Yep, just little bits of string. So again, you could use a glue stick for this. I'm going to use PVA, and I'm just going to put some PVA at the bottom of my stem of my flower, just a little blob. Yeah, and then I'm just going to sit just the ends of my string into the glue. Oh, I've got very long roots here. I wonder what size of roots your plant has. Oh, there we go. And here's another one. And here's the last one. Right, let's put that at this side. Try and fit them all on. Ah, there we go. And press, press, press that down. Just like that. Yep. Like I'll show you. There we go. Do you see? Very long roots, aren't they? Going right down, way down into the ground. So now let's create our lovely flower at the top of our stem. So for that, you will have your cup case. It's a lovely rainbow cup case, lots of nice colours. Now, if you have a little pair of scissors, what you can do, you don't have to do this, but what you can do is do what I've done here. Look, see how I've cut little bits to make petals for our flower. Now, what you can do is you can just open out your cupcase like that with your hand. And if you want to leave it like that, you can just leave it like that. And you can put a little bit of glue at the bottom and glue that down, okay? If you would like to create petals, now I've got really big scissors here. These are my big craft scissors, but hopefully you've got little child-friendly ones. Then you can do a little snip, snip, just all the way around. Maybe if you're a little bit bigger and you're confident using scissors, then maybe this is something you would like to do. But like I say, it's not something you have to do because you can still glue that cake case down, yeah, without creating these little petals like that, little separate ones, okay? So now we've done that, let's get a little bit of glue on the bottom. And it's quite handy because there's a nice purple circle, isn't there, at the bottom? It gives you a bit of an idea of where to put the glue. And then you can stick that at the top of your stem. Yeah, and use your finger to go pat, 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 pat. Stick it all down. Fantastic. And now, the last thing that we need to do is add our seeds, okay? So this will all become very clear why we're gluing seeds into the middle of our flower when we come to read the book at story time. Maybe some PVA doesn't have to be. You could probably use a glue stick in the middle, but put some glue in the middle of your flower head. Okay, there we go. And then we can then start to place these seeds. Now these are dried sunflower seeds. So actually, you could probably plant some of these and they would actually work. I know I've given you a seed to plant, and that's what we're going to do after the story. But actually, it's a little experiment. If you wanted to create an experiment, you could maybe try planting a few of these somewhere in your garden and see if they grow. Or even just plant them in a little pot. See if they grow. There we go. Okay. So I have put, there we go, a few seeds into the middle of my flower. Can you see in there? There we go. And that is your beautiful flower picture finished. Well done. I wonder what yours looks like. If you're finished and you'd like to take a photo of it, maybe mummy or daddy could take a photo of you holding your picture like I'm holding mine and send it to me, and then I would get to see how fantastic your flower pictures are. I wonder if they look like mine. Okay. So I'm going to put this somewhere to dry just now. I'm going to put this over here. There. And you maybe want to get things a bit tidied up. So remember, you're very lucky because you're watching this on a video. So at any time, if you want to pause this and go and do something, then you absolutely can. Maybe you want to pause it and go and wash your hands. Pause it, go and get a snack for story time. Yeah. So feel free, you can do that anytime you like, and then you can come back and press play again, and then you can start the video. Okay, so either go and give your hands a wash, go and get a snack, because I'm going to get ready to get story. All right, good job, well done. So, it's very cold just now. I can't believe we're in May and freezing. Let's bring back the sunshine. So this is the book today, and it's called The Tiny Seed, and it's written by someone called Eric Carle. And maybe you've heard of that person before because he is the person that wrote The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Yeah, and a few other books actually. And this is another one of his books called The Tiny Seed. And maybe your flower picture looks a little bit like the flower in the front of this book. Maybe. Will we find out what the story's about? Come on, let's do that. Right. Let me see. Come around here. So it is autumn and a strong wind is blowing. A bit like today. Today here, it's quite a windy day. It blows flower seeds. Can you see them? There. High into the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny. Can you see it there? Much smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up, do you think? And where do you think they're all going? I wonder. Let's find out. Oh, look, what's this up in the sky? This is what we're missing, isn't it? We need some more of this. A lovely big bright sun. One of the seeds, look, there they all are. Can you see where the tiny seed is? Look, there's the tiny seed away at the back. Now, if we look at all the seeds, one of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up it goes. But look, it flies too high, too close to the sun. And the sun's hot rays burn it up. Oh no, and it goes on fire. but the tiny seed sails on with all the others. Where will they go next? Oh, look, what's this picture? Lots of snowy mountains. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. Now, the ice never melts on that mountain, and therefore the seed cannot grow. But the rest of the seeds fly on. Can you see the tiny seed? Where is it? Oh, look, there it is there. Did you spy it? The tiny seed. It doesn't go as fast as the others, but it's still there. Now, where do they go? What do we see in the water? A fish. They must be flying over the ocean. But look, where are they? Where's the tiny seed? Can you find it? Oh, look, there it is there. The tiny seed doesn't go as high as the other, but it's still there. And look, one seed falls into the water and it drowns. And the others sail on with the wind. Where now? Oh, look, where are we now? We're in the desert. And one seed drifts down and lands on the desert. It's hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow there. But look, where's the tiny seed? Where is it? Can you find it? There it is there. Look, it's flying very low, but the wind pushes it on and it carries on with the others. Finally, the wind stops and the seeds fall gently down into the ground. But look, a bird comes by and it eats one of the seeds. But look, the tiny seed isn't eaten. It's so small, the bird doesn't see it. Look, it's just sitting in the grass with the others. That was lucky. Oh my goodness, what's happened now? Look at the snow falling out of the sky. It's winter. And after their long trip, the seeds settle down onto the earth. They look like they're maybe going to sleep. Snow falls and covers them like a lovely white blanket. But who do we see down here? It's a hungry mouse. He also lives in the ground and he eats one of the seeds for his lunch. But where's the tiny seed? Can we see? I think that might be it there. The tiny seed lies very still and the mouse doesn't see it. It's quite good being small, isn't it? Now look what's happened. Now winter is over and it's spring. After a few months, the snow has melted and it really is spring. Birds fly and the sun shines and the rain also falls. That's why we're in spring just now, isn't it? Sometimes the sun shines, but lately we've been getting a lot of rain, haven't we? The seeds grow round and full and they start to burst open a little. And they're not seeds anymore, are they? What are they? Do you know? They've turned into plants. First, they send roots down to earth. And then their little stems and leaves begin to grow upwards towards the sun and the air. Now there's another plant here that it grows much faster than the new little plants. It's a big fat weed. Do any of you have weeds in your garden? Oh my goodness. Weeds are cheeky things. We don't really like weeds very much. It takes all of the sunlight and the rain away from the others, especially from this little new plant here. And unfortunately that little plant dies because it can't get any rain and it can't get any sun because it's being shadowed by the big fat weed. But the tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet, and before long it'll be too late. Hurry! But finally, look, there it is there. It begins to grow into a plant. Well done, tiny seed. Now, the warm weather also brings children out to play. What does this look like? A big pink leg with a big pink foot. They too have been waiting for the sun and springtime, but one child doesn't see the plants as he runs. And, oh, he breaks one, and now that plant cannot grow either. But look, I think this is the tiny seed that's grown into the tiny plant. It's still there. Now, the tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed, there it is growing fast. But look, its neighbour grows even faster. And before the tiny plant has just three leaves, look, 1, 2, 3 leaves have grown on the tiny plant. The other plant has 7 leaves. Shall we count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves. Wow, so it does. And look, it even has a flower. But what's happening? What's this big hand? A shadow looms over them, and then a hand reaches down and it breaks off the flower. So now that plant has gone too. Oh look, a boy has picked the flower to give it to one of his friends. Oh, that's a nice thing to do, isn't it? Anyone you know like getting flowers? Maybe Mummy likes to get given flowers, do you think? Now it is summer, and now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone, and it grows on and on. And look, it doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it, and it has many leaves. Shall we count the leaves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves. It grows taller and taller. Now look, it's taller than all the people, and it's taller than the trees, and it's taller than the houses. And now there's a flower that grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It's the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Look at them all, looking at it and pointing. All that from a tiny seed. All summer long, the birds and the bees and the butterflies come to visit. They've never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Can you see them? There's the butterflies, and there's the birds, and can you see the tiny bees? All visiting the flower. Now it is autumn again, so we've had summer and summer's gone, and now we're back to autumn. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves from the trees past the flower. Did you see? All the leaves on the trees have changed colour, haven't they? Back to being autumn colours of red and gold. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down onto the ground. The flower's changing, isn't it? The wind blows harder, and the flower has now lost almost all of its petals. It sways and it bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and it shakes the flower. And once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower seeds, they all open up, and out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail away on the wind, just like at the very beginning of the story. Do you remember the seed, the tiny seed, floating away in the wind? And that's what's happened again. I wonder if there's going to be a tiny seed amongst all of those seeds that will grow to be a giant flower, just like this one. Maybe. And that is a book called The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. Right, are we ready to maybe see if we can plant a seed? What do you think? So, you should have your flower pot, yeah? And you should have this little bag, and in this little bag, look, there's a tiny seed, and that's the seed that we're going to plant, okay? So before we plant our seed, if you want to, you can decorate your tub, yeah? So I've got some soil for planting my seed in, and I've also got some pens. So if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can decorate your tub. You can draw some pictures. I'm maybe going to draw a lovely flower, just like the one that we painted. So I'm going to have, look, my flower stem and maybe my leaves. My flower is just going to have 2 leaves, I think. There we go, there's my flower's leaves. And then I'm going to draw a beautiful flower at the top. Let's see. There we go. Beautiful. Look, do you see? We colour it in a little bit. So you can draw whatever you want on your flower pot. There we go, my beautiful flower. I might even draw maybe a rainbow. Any of you like to draw rainbows? Oh, that was a very loud noise, isn't it? There we go, right. It's my beautiful flower. And will we do some soil for my flower to grow in at the bottom? Yeah. Great job. So once you've decorated your pot, it's now time to plant your flower. Maybe you want to write your name on your pot so that everybody knows it belongs to you. Yeah, maybe you want to do that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this earth. Now if you want, you can use a spoon. I'm just going to use my fingers and my hands. And I'm just going to pick up the earth and I'm going to pop it into my pot. Okay. Maybe about, not quite to the top, nearly at the top. Okay. And we're going to open our bag and we're going to find our seed. Okay, let's go. Now, let's see. Got to be very careful. We don't want to lose the seed, do we? So let's open the bag. Let's get the seed out. Now, if you look at the seed, some are more obvious than others, but, oh, I've dropped it. It's so tiny. Usually there's like a more pointed end and then a flatter end at the top. So you want to plant it with the point going down the way, okay? So I'm just going to put a little hole using my finger into the earth, and I'm just going to put my seed pointing down the way into the earth, and then I'm going to cover it all back up like a lovely blanket to be kept warm. Yeah. And then all we need to do is give that a little water. If I had some water, I'd give it a little water now, but I'm maybe going to take that to the kitchen and I'm going to give it a little water and I'm going to sit it on my kitchen windowsill, somewhere nice and warm, okay, and sunny. And remember, what do plants need? They need the sun and they need the rain. So if you sit it on your windowsill, it will get lots of sun through your window, hopefully, if the sun shines. And you'll need to make sure you keep watering it. Okay, so keep an eye on it. And what you can do is just touch the top. And if it feels too dry, then maybe give it a little drink with some water. If it feels quite wet, it probably doesn't need any more water. It's got enough. Okay, so make sure you water it and then sit there and then maybe wait for a week or two. And you should be able to see the little green shoots growing up out of your pot. And then once it gets a little bit bigger, it's time that if you want to, you can plant it outside. You can maybe leave this in the pot. You can maybe replant it into a bigger pot if you want to keep it indoors. Or if you've got a space outside, you can then replant it outside in the garden. Yep, and watch it grow because these are giant sunflowers. Look, will I show you a picture? Look how big they grow. With a giant sunflower head that should be like that. So apparently they can grow up to 3 meters tall, which is like really, really, really tall. Like taller than you. So see if you can grow a flower that's even taller than you. Just like the flower in the story, the tiny seed. Remember the giant flower? It was bigger than all the people. Yeah? So let's see if the flower that you grow is going to grow as tall as you. Maybe even taller. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So what will happen if you plant it now? Yeah. Then maybe round about summertime, maybe at the end of the summertime, that's when your plant will really grow tall, okay, before the autumn, before the wind comes and knocks all the seeds away. All right, well done. You show me a picture, see if you can send me a picture of your sunflower. And then I can't wait, I'm going to send you photos of what my sunflowers are doing outside. I've got some sunflowers already planted in the garden. And then I'm going to wait and I'm going to send you some photos of what happens to my seed in here and hopefully it grows too. So let me know how yours gets on. All right. Right. Should we do a little bit of tidying up? What do you think? Let's find my tidy up song because I think I've got a little bit of cleaning up to do here. Ready? Yeah. Well done. Right, let's get everything put away.
Time to tidy up, tidy up, tidy up. Time
Super
to tidy
job.
up and put your things away.
Maybe got some paint. Have you got your paint put away? Yeah. I'm going to put mine away.
Time to pick up toys, pick up toys, pick up toys. Time to pick up toys, put them in the place. Time to close your book, close your book, close your book.
Does your table need a wipe?
And put it on the shelf.
I've got some paint on my table here from all the splatter. Yeah, remember that we did for our painting.
Look around,
What's your table like? My table's covered in paint.
The room look clean.
Give it a really good wipe down. Well done.
Make the room look nice and neat, nice and
Is it
neat,
looking
nice and
neat?
neat. Make the room look nice and neat. Thank you very much.
Well done. And what about your hands? Do you need to give your hands another wipe?
Put your things away. Keep your room neat. Nothing under your feet.
Well done.
Good to
And
find
then
a
once
place.
you're ready,
Things say. Thank
do you want to
very
go find
much.
your bubbles? Yeah? If you feel you're all tidied up, make sure you've got your bubbles ready for the bubble song.
Put your things away.
Oh dear. I've got paint, I've got mud, all
Thank
sorts
you
in
very
here.
much. Thank you very much. Time to tidy up.
Well done. Are you tidy? What do you think? Let's see. There we go. Shall we get our bubbles out? Give yourself a big clap. Well done. Little pat on the back. Super. Thumbs up. Fantastic. So this is our last class in this block, but don't worry, we'll be doing lots more, okay? So there'll be another one next week, which will be The Very Hungry Caterpillar. So it's another story by the same person that wrote this book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And he wrote this book, The Tiny Seed. And that's one that we'll be doing next week. All right, so thank you very much for joining me again today. I hope you've had a wonderful time, all right? And send me lots of photos of your artwork because I love seeing them. All right, well done. And I'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.